Super.
BS.
Yo, 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 what is good in your neighborhood? It is Super BS. The dudes are back in town. We are here for episode 44.
Heck yeah. I feel
Wow.
like you just assumed my gender.
What? I don't get it. Your age?
I guess we're gonna have to cut this and restart.
I guess
You
this
said-
is a good time to bring up our
You
public
said
admonition of Josh
dudes.
today.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay. I'm going to do my best. So, guys, welcome to the show. We appreciate you listening to us. Appreciate the support. This week, we got over 1,000 downloads.
Just this week, we got 1,000 downloads. This
You didn't have to clarify
per
that.
episode.
Yeah, but we hit 1,000 downloads. So thanks.
We're still not popular enough to interview Flint Hook.
That's true.
Hey, you never know. You never
know, but you do. Real quick, why don't you hit us up on our email, our social media accounts
Right now.
right this minute. Rate and review the show, and we'd love to hear from you. That'd be awesome. But why don't we kick it off with the games that we're playing?
How about we kick it off with who is even at the table?
Oh, my goodness. I totally forgot.
Oh yeah, hey,
Who moderates the moderator?
real
Oh,
quick.
thank
if
you.
if you guys are on Android devices, we're on Stitcher, so just a heads up on that.
What is Stitcher?
Stitcher, I guess, is the podcast app that Android users often use, so we're available there.
Okay,
Cool.
Thanks for that little PSA.
Oh yeah.
The one Android user in the world.
Thank
will
you,
know.
Android user.
Did you say if you're on Android or if you are a Android?
Both.
Both, either one.
I imagine you
You're
have the
an-
same operating system. So.
Folks out there, if any of you are Androids, can you tell us if you download apps to yourself?
Ooh.
Or
Just,
if you
uh,
dream of sheep, we need to know.
It's actually
Right.
Electric Sheep would be the
Electric sheep.
metaphor there for the book
Well,
title.
this one's just regular sheep.
Thank you for. Brink was specifically warning about regular sheep.
Unlike the famous book title, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? I, Brink, want to know if you dream of regular sheep.
I mean, they'd get it. I think it was an inside joke with androids.
Oh
Yeah.
man, they love it. It's like 001000010.
Okay, so I think we've all said who we are. So who do we got here on my left?
Do you think if you were citing a constitution for like a nation of robots, that you'd have to say androids and droids?
Oh, that'd be really
it
cool.
depends on who.
Like there's discrimination.
Androids.
Well, there's
and
androids.
droids.
And there's droids.
Oh.
I mean, droids is a Star Wars specific term, I think. Droid.
Maybe, but in
mean,
this,
never know.
in
I think-
my imaginary robot universe,
think it
all
depends-
robots are fair game.
It depends on the order. So if it was droids and droids, like that would be weird. But if
That
it was
would be
androids and droids, there'd have to be like a double space there, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys sound like you're writing a legal document because they are as vague as possible, and the Constitution is one of the worst ones ever written. So I
It's
think
super
we're well on our way.
specific.
Yeah,
I mean, it was written by 18-year-olds, so
was it?
I'm pretty sure a lot of the founding fathers were pretty. I saw I could be wrong because I've never researched this, but I saw a meme that was like, like everything on Facebook, like ridiculously politically charged. But
Yeah.
it was like these are
In a
the
good way.
ages of like
Politics on
Jefferson, Lincoln, or not Lincoln, Washington, like those people. They were pretty
Madison.
young dudes,
Really? That's pretty funny.
which makes sense because the lifespan was shorter.
Yeah, that's true.
But that doesn't. Yeah,
It's funny. HBO always makes them look like they're in their 40s.
yeah.
Only HBO does that.
Well, that's just because they wear those powdered wigs.
Yeah.
It's always sunny.
Yeah, we got to bring that back.
Oh.
Yeah, flush the pinky.
That one Always Sunny episode.
I love it. Who's to my left?
This is Donna.
Donna.
That's me.
Who's this?
Your baby boy Brank.
Who's that?
JJ.
JJ. Sticking with the Jage. And I am Dave. Welcome.
Dave Labro.
Dave Labro.
Guys, I'm like still Dave legally. That's like what my name is. I've been like looking at documents all day, and I'm definitely Dave.
That's,
Officially.
most of what you said was true. So
He just stares at his birth certificate all day.
Legally, his name was changed.
Of course,
It
most
was.
of what I said was true. Why am I talking to myself now?
Dana, what are you playing this week, man?
I have mostly spent my time with a roguelike game called Quest of Dungeons. I'm really quickly going to look up the developer just so I can say it in the show. even though this is not an old game, but it's 2014.
Is this an official shout out?
This is an official shout out.
Hell yeah.
We should get a shout out, like little sound effect, Frank. That's it. That's perfect.
Upfall Studios. There we go.
What is it?
Upfall Studios.
Upfall.
So anyway, Quest of Dungeons is a roguelike, and I've been playing it a lot. It's definitely got a comedic twist to it, which is why the name of it is Quest of Dungeons, which I think is pretty great.
It's okay.
It's so it's a true roguelike, which means that it's turn-based, but also now this is an interesting thing because we've talked about roguelites and roguelikes on this game, but I don't think any of us really have a lot of experience with roguelikes. Mostly roguelites.
I don't.
So these are actually a lot different than I knew, and I've never really played a true one before. And I don't know how true this is because I don't know. It's just like a world that I'm not super familiar with. So I love rogue lights, like Rogue Legacy, things like that are fantastic. Anyway, so this game is like a top-down 8-bit Zelda where you move in real time, but it's technically turn-based because when you move, enemies move. And they don't move, like they don't like have their own moving radii or patterns that they're just doing. Like it's not, it like happens whenever you make a move, everything else moves. So that's I guess part of what makes it a turn-based game, of course.
Do you see it happen, or
Yeah, if you're in a room in a dungeon and there's enemies, everything's still until you make a move, and then everything moves one square just like you do. Or it's not like a square grid. It's like, I mean, I guess it technically is, but it's not like you see like an ugly grid. You see like a cool 8-bit dungeon.
Sounds gritty.
Yeah, it's got some cool music. It's funny. The game has a few classes to choose from. I've played mostly as a warrior. There's also shaman, sorcerer, and assassin. And then when you beat it, which I did, you unlock the Necrodancer, which is a tie-in to another really famous roguelike called Crypt of the Necrodancer, which is a rhythm-based roguelike turn-based game. I've seen playthroughs of it, and it looks awesome. But
Also on Switch.
I played
Yeah.
it.
Oh, it is?
yeah,
You
so
played it?
I played like 2 minutes.
Dancer?
Somebody else had it, and I was just messing around with
Oh, okay.
it. But
And then
yeah.
you sold it to GameStop when the guy
I
wasn't
mean,
looking?
it was on his Steam account, so
I will probably pick it up the second I see it on a decent sale, just because I've seen playthroughs of that game and I never really understood how it worked. But now that I know it's a little different than this game, but now that I'm seeing it, I'm kind of interested in this genre and exploring more roguelites or
it's not-
roguelikes.
It's not just DDR.
No.
the floor panels light up, and you have to move with the music.
Oh, that sounds fun.
But it's still like a turn-based roguelike. So anyway, so you unlock that character, which is not made by the same studio, but it's more of like a cross-studio tie-in, which is kind of fun. There's a couple different modes. You can kind of beat the game, and then you unlock a second set of dungeons, which is what I'm currently playing through. The premise of the game is that you are 4 heroes on an adventure against some intentionally very generic Lord of Darkness kind of thing, and who's stolen light from mankind or whatever.
That's never been
and
done
you're
before.
sitting around exactly. They make note of it too. It's like they're sitting around a campfire at the very beginning of the game. They're like, all 4 heroes are there, and they're like, you should go alone, like, which is really funny.
So it's aware of itself.
It's intentionally aware.
Okay.
Again, I said there's like a comedic twist to the game.
Androids, baby.
When you beat the game and then you start the second set of dungeons, after you get a little exposition about the new king, I think it's named King Jelly or something, is the second bad guy, and he does the same thing, and they're like, he kind of does the same thing as the last bad guy. Anyway, so
That's awesome.
in the game you level up, you collect items, you collect equipment, you collect spells and skills and stuff. You collect keys to unlock doors in different levels of the dungeon. I think the dungeon is like 6 floors. The first main mode, at least, I think it was about 6 floors. I probably died 6 or 7 times going down, and then I finally beat it with a really solid run. There's no carryover because it's a roguelike. There's a little bit in the sense that you can find the ghost of the character that you died as previously and fight him and then get a bunch of items from him.
Kind of like Dark Souls.
A little bit,
Except
yeah,
for
but
you
you don't get all
fight.
the experience, etc. But it's similar. The only thing that I can't tell if it's random or if you have to progress to a certain floor for that to activate. Because anytime I died on the first or second floor, I never really found my ghost again. But I think third floor beyond I did. But yeah, so it's really fun. There's like a merchant usually. There's boss fights. The game is randomly generated every time you start, so it's never the same. But the progression is the same. Like you start on this like dungeon floor, and then you end up in this like kind of wooded floor, and then you kind of. But it's like the room, the order, the items, the whether or not there's even bosses in it, the mini quests that you can find that are like, oh, find an item in this room. It's on the east side, and like those are all random and stuff. But yeah, so I would highly recommend it. I paid really little money for it because of Nintendo points.
What, $100?
Yeah, I got probably like $100,000.
What did you pay for it?
Like $2.
What is it
But,
retail for?
It was on sale for like $8. I think.
Oh, and it's worth $8.
I would say so. Yeah.
Sounds like it.
I'm definitely getting like more than I've already gotten more than a few hours out of it. Like I've probably
Oh.
played it a solid 6 hours or so. Because this is actually the first. No, this is one of the very few games that I have like. Hey, I'm playing my Switch mobilely now. Like, because I normally.
Well, actually, it's only meant to be an epic experience, so you shouldn't do that.
Wait, real quick, what do you guys
That's my
consider?
Donna voice. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, that was good. That was good.
It's a work in progress.
We need to
Now,
make some law
get him back with a
documents
law,
here.
bro.
No, for $60, what is like the most amount, like the gameplay time? Do you think is acceptable for $60?
I mean, if you consider that a movie is like $15 plus now for an hour and a half experience,
Right.
I don't know. I'm pretty flexible on that stuff. I try not to like have too harsh of an opinion on the value because I know it's complicated with development costs, with studio costs. I know that some studios can be efficient and pump out a game that's really huge for $60. I know some studios put out a really tight experience that's a lot shorter. I don't really have a personal like dollar value to hours requirement. Depending on if a game was 5 hours, $60 and not replayable in any way, shape, or form, then I would probably have an objection.
Is this Gears of War 1?
No, Gears of War 1 is
They have online multiplayer in that. Like,
That was a joke.
like
I was
five.
He's saying a
6 hours?
jab against Order of 1886. That's your jab,
That's
right?
actually
That
I
game.
wasn't intentionally doing that, but I do remember that now.
Yeah.
No, but I was just saying like Gears of War 1 even is probably I think the campaign's probably 8 to 10 hours.
It might be 6, but it's really replayable because it has co-op.
Yeah, it's co-op. It's also like I could replay that. It's like Halo 1. Like I'll replay Halo 1 at some point. I was actually in the middle of replaying it a couple months ago. Like it's like a fun story to go back to. It's kind of what it is.
Yeah,
but
I was just curious because like we always make comparisons on the show to price versus time it takes to play the game. So
yeah, which is one of my least favorite things to do. As far as I mean, I like to. I don't mind talking about like what something I think is worth, but for me, like dollar value to time is less of an exact science as opposed to like quality to dollar value type of thing.
But I think we all are probably in agreement that if you play the game and it ends up costing you between $1 to $2 per hour of enjoyment, like it's worth the buy.
Yeah, I think it's worth it.
Definitely, yeah. But yeah, so I mean, for an $8 or $9 game or whatever this was, like I've already played it significantly beyond that. And it's fun. It's really easy to pick up and play with the portability to the Switch with sleep mode and stuff. It's not beating it is not actually that long. It's maybe an hour to like get through all the floors if you have a solid playthrough and if you get better at the game and like I learned really early on, like, okay, there's a shop, but I never buy equipment from that shop, even though drops are random, because I always find good ones. Instead, I buy keys because there's randomly generated doors, like locked doors on each floor. And you may or may not find keys out in the wild, but if you have money, you can always buy those. And behind those is always great treasure. So it's like you kind of learn strategies and stuff, and it gets fun. But yeah, so that would be it's the main game I've been playing this week. I played a little bit of Super Hot, which was free. Super Hot is actually kind of the same game because it is a game that doesn't move unless you move.
That's a really, really great game.
Yeah, I did not love my. I mean, I haven't played enough of it. It was very frustrating, very early on to the point where I was like, oh man, it's only going to get worse from here. I don't know if I can do this. The main thing that I actually dislike about the game, though, is not the actual gameplay. It's everything in between. Like, the menus are obnoxious. The constant, like I remember, like, trying to just change my controller setting to invert, and you can't just actually push B to like back out of the menu. You have to go to a separate part of the menu to select go back to game. Things like that are just like annoying. And then just kind of like Yeah, like the way everything is kind of like there's a bunch of settings in the menu that aren't clear what they are.
It's just so unique.
It is very unique.
I think it's
yeah.
worth
So the way this
Oh,
game,
wait, what were you gonna say?
super hot. I just said it's so unique. It's worth at least the free trial on.
yeah,
it's free
absolutely,
games.
yeah. So the game is set in like a mostly white backdrop with red characters, and again, time stands still unless you are moving, whether that be aiming or walking, etc. You get a gun, and you basically have to like clear out a room of enemies, sort of in a puzzle, where you have to like fire a shot, and then you have to move more for the bullet to actually travel.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's definitely an interesting game, and you kind of get into these like elaborate setups where it's like, okay, you killed this guy, you have to punch him and get his gun, and then you have to like beware of this guy that's going to appear behind you in like 7 steps kind of thing, and then you have to fire at him, but you can't just fire at him in real time, so you actually have to really think about where you're aiming, because if he walks a couple steps, your bullet will miss, and your bullets are limited. So it's like a puzzle game, but it's like a first person shooter.
Sort of like one of those scenes in Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes, where he imagines what happens, and you have to go and.
My memory of that movie is
Well, anytime he fought, he had like this imagining of what was going on.
Yeah,
and
he could
would
see it
all the
before it
stuff that went
happened.
wrong, so that way he would go back and do it again and do
is
it
that
right.
like the same thing as the guy in what's the movie I'm thinking, Boondock Saints, where he like goes in and sees
Yeah,
everything that
yeah,
happened
yeah.
in the past.
In
of
the
course.
past, though, yeah, the detective Willem, best movie. But there's a VR game, Donna, that I know you'd be super interested to hear about.
So interesting.
It's pretty much this exact same game.
Is it Super Hot VR?
I don't know if it's super hot VR, but there's like polygonal, like
Yeah.
red. Oh,
I think it's Super Hot VR.
Yeah,
It's supposed to be
VR
really
game.
cool.
Super fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's-
awesome.
So I think Super Hot, I didn't enjoy playing it that much either, so I don't want to, go on here and say, oh, I loved it, I beat the whole thing 100% of it. But I think the idea is so cool and unique that it's worth like giving a shout out to, if nothing else, because I don't know of anything else that's been done before like that. In a first person.
That was my thought.
Yeah.
Like, this is interesting. And it was interesting to be playing it at the same time that I was playing Quest of Dungeons, because it's kind of very similar in a mechanical sense. Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it for me. I've started getting back into Elder Scrolls. We'll talk in the news. There's some new stuff coming. So,
That'd be sweet.
but otherwise, yeah.
Do you need a tissue, Donna?
For how much you love Elder Scrolls and you've been crying nonstop about this news. We'll get there soon, Davey, okay? But we're not ready
I'm confused
for...
by the reference here.
He's just...
Oh,
he
you
knows you
just
love
you're
it.
just got a little sniffle, so I thought you might need a tissue.
I'm probably... Maybe I'm a little stuffed up. I don't know.
maybe
I
you're
don't
a little
feel like
bit
I am.
teared
I would,
up.
I would
We are
be
in my
excited.
garage.
I would be curious to take a poll of what our listeners thought, where they thought you were going with that.
I don't know. I mean, like you can ask Max in China or
All right, Max,
Oh.
send us an email.
Let the listener...
or Igor in Ukraine.
Igor.
Pronounced Igor.
Oh,
we alienated the one Ukrainian listener.
we might have already done that because I am not seeing the Ukraine in our stats anymore or demographics.
They moved to the U.S.
He or she only tunes in for the Ukrainian jokes. So
Okay,
They love them.
well, keep them coming. How about JJ? Why don't you tell us what you're playing, man?
So I noticed that Lost Sphere was on sale after being told by Branky here.
Yeah, I was glad that you
I like
called
that
that
phrasing.
out.
I noticed after I was
told.
told.
Yeah, I
I
signed
just
on.
love that because, like, I was like, you're not going to mention me and just pretend that you...
Yeah, no, I found it myself.
This
It
is
was all-
this is all Brink has, man. You gotta give him credit.
I'm a cheapassgamer.com, okay?
No, so I downloaded that and I was I'm like 2 hours into it. I like it, but it's different. It's like a mixture of I don't want to say it's like Final Fantasy because I guess it sort of is, sort of isn't. But like when you go out into did you guys play the demo? Mm-hmm. So when you go out into the big world map, you don't get like random battles.
Oh, it sounds like amazing. Game.
So you just like there's all these areas like you see trees popping up and you're like, oh, maybe if I go through there, I'm gonna start triggering some battles, but you don't.
Are there no random battles in the game?
No, because all the enemies show up like in the different zones you go to.
Yeah, so it's more like Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So you can avoid them if you want to.
Well, I mean,
Some of them?
so far I've just been driven right into them by the narrative of the game. So
Okay.
but yeah, my big complaint so far. I'm 2 hours in, but the only complaint I have is that it's really anime like. Because you even get parts where the characters have like the sweat beads come up and they'll like fall over and stuff. It's just it doesn't really add to the game very much.
Or is it not anime enough for you? I know you're a Tales of Berseria fan, so
Tales of Berseria, yeah.
What do you like about the game?
I like that it's like they tell it's kind of mysterious. Like they don't give you a lot. There's not they don't give a lot away at the beginning. So I'm curious what's going on because all like the mountains and the towns are disappearing. They're turning white, and I guess they haven't explained what the character's ability is, but he has this ability to find memories and restore things back to the way they were. And I have like this broody Kingdom Hearts looking guy in my party now, and I don't know like.
I've seen all the people in that game. No one looks like Kingdom Hearts.
Well, he has like the white hair and the long trench coat.
how many belts?
How big are his shoes compared to the rest of his body?
Are they clown shoes?
We're gonna need the ratio on that too, Josh.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but no, like
Let me stop you right there for
Okay,
an
please.
official interruption.
No, I was surprised you waited.
I was
this
waiting.
long.
I was about to say
I kept on like scanning the table. I'd stop at Eric for a minute, and then I keep talking.
Maybe Donna does need a tissue. Maybe he's not feeling well.
this is making me sick.
Guys, you're going to turn me into hypochondriac. So, anyway, it's important to note that this is from Tokyo Game Factory. Or Idea Factory or Game
No,
Factory?
Game Factory.
Yeah, Tokyo
Game
Game
Factory,
Factory,
yeah.
which is like a square.
Tokyo RPG Factory.
Yeah.
Tokyo RPG Factory.
Do we know anything?
No. But we still have opinions.
But I
But I was going to say the point of this studio is specifically to develop old school styled RPGs. I believe with I Am Setsuna and this one, they're both more heavily influenced, I think, in recapturing what Chrono Trigger is as opposed to like an older Final Fantasy, especially with the non-random battles or like not technically random battles because you can see the enemies on the map, and also with like the combat system where you kind of end up in different parts of the map and do cross strikes and things like
you
that.
move around. Like one of the guys has a gun, and you can shoot through one opponent and go into another.
That's one thing that made Chrono Trigger's combat, I think, really fun. And something that I thought was missing in some of the older Final Fantasy games, but I really enjoyed that in Chrono Trigger.
So, real quick to interject, I did play the demo, and I feel like the battle system in this game, outside of the characters not being as memorable, I feel like it's as fun as Chrono Trigger, if not better. So it's an active time
From a
battle.
gameplay perspective?
Yeah, just for the fighting alone, because you move around, you line up your shots, and then you hit your attack button.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
So
and there's like a weird mechanic where if it glows blue, like right when and you press a button right there, your attack you get extra points onto your attack.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of games that have done something like that. They have
Yeah.
like some type of like trigger system.
South
Final
Park?
Fantasy VIII has it.
South
Oh yeah,
Park,
that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
South
South Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lost
That-
Odyssey has it.
That is taken actually, it's funny that South Park reference. That's taken from the old Square Enix game Paper Mario. Or, I mean, not Paper Mario, Super Mario RPG, which was like used in all
Yeah.
the Paper Marios. But I find it funny that
I'm wondering if that's one of the first to do something like that.
I think that is the first game to do like triggered, like, hey, you hit the button again and you do extra damage.
They have it with Squall's Gunblade in Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you hit
that
the
took
trigger.
me so long to master though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing I don't love about this Tokyo RPG Factory games and what they've been doing, and the reason why I haven't picked Lost Sphere yet, is they seem very big on kitchen sink mechanics. Where like, they throw every single like I Am Setsuna, I played twice now. I haven't beat it, but I've started it once on PS4 and once on Switch. And I just get over all of the added like, oh, you do this thing and you go to this guy.
Okay.
And you get the
So in this game, you press the right. What's the bump? Is that a right bumper?
like
Like
on the
ZL
Switch, it's
or
RZL.
RL or-
yeah, whatever the top one is, and they actually will tell you where to go.
But I mean, like, do you still like? Is there still like a shop guy who only takes this type of stuff, and then you get this from it, and he gives you this move that does this, but only that guy does this, and then you equip like runes or something that do.
No. So in this one, there's shops. You go into the shop. One guy sells magic. One guy sells weapons and armor. And there's a Zelda, like that guy from Zelda with the backpack who kind of is in these different locations.
Saw.
Yeah, but
He
he,
says
doesn't
saw
like.
saw.
He doesn't like call out to you. The one thing that I really do like about this game is it's kind of cool because when you go out into the world map, like all the mountains and stuff, they like stick out. They feel like they're sticking out of the screen, so it's not like all flat and
Just
one
to say
dimensional.
stick out.
out.
This week we're drop the Irish for some Canadians.
Canadian.
Stick out, eh?
What do you think of the mech combat? That was the one thing that seemed like extra, again, kitchen sink type stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Hear more about this because what you described. I don't know if I would call it kitchen sink mechanics, but I didn't play I Am Setsuna enough.
Okay. Well, the I Am Setsuna one was mainly just how many shopkeeps had like different stuff that required you to do like, oh, you need to collect this one by grinding like for the enemies.
There's
This one
multiple
is done by
currencies, you mean?
tons of currencies and certain thing. I feel like there was a way to buy abilities for your characters, but there was also a way to just level up and get different abilities.
I mean, even a game like Breath of the Wild has multiple like theoretical type things like that, where it's like, okay, you can buy money from this guy, you can get upgrades from this person.
Buy
you
money
get-
in that game?
Sorry, I didn't know you had to buy money. I mean, you can pay
currency of
money
the
for
realm,
certain
Dave.
things.
by
in this
real
game.
money, you get USD from it.
You can buy money.
No, I just feel like sometimes when there's that many mechanics, some of them are not fully implemented or
Yeah.
they're not necessary.
Do you think though that it
Yeah.
might have anything more to do? I'm just playing Josh's advocate here.
Devil May Cry Advocate.
Yeah, Devil May Cry advocate.
4.
4.
But do you think that might just be because the game doesn't really hold your attention very well? Because to me, when you say all that stuff, I'm like, that just sounds like a JRPG. Like I've never really experienced. Like I feel like now we kind of have more of like an ADD with games because we have more games
So many games to
to
play.
not just to play, but it's easier to just like, you know, like I can pop between Switch games really fast and that kind of stuff. So if I'm not engrossed in a game with multiple systems, those systems become more annoying than they would if I was like, okay, like I'm gonna go to this guy and get this thing, and then I'm doing this. You can kind of multitask it because it's not really that overwhelming. You're just engrossed in the game.
And okay, to that point, I definitely agree that that's probably part of the problem. But I would say like the games that do those type of systems best are the mainline Final Fantasy series, Final Fantasy IX, where they have the
they definitely do,
single
yeah.
weapon and you equip that and you get the ability from it. I Am Setsuna, I feel like they're like, which one should we do? All of them.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's one of the things too is that it's a company specifically created to recapture like magic, old magic. And I think Square, as we've talked about with different things, has like a general identity crisis where they don't really know what made their game special in the past. So they're kind of shooting in the dark a lot. I think that with some things, they're doing good work, and in other things, they're clearly showing that they have no idea.
So that they're trying to find what made them special in the first place.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can't
I
recreate
think,
that.
I think the metaphor I always use would be like if, you know, Capitol Records tried to make a new Beatles record without the Beatles. Like, I mean, they put out those records back in the day or whatever, so they could try and find new members to make a new Beatles group, but it doesn't work that way without the people that made it possible in the first place.
Right.
You can understand to an extent and then try something in the same vein, but it generally will come off as like hacky versus
or a nostalgia grab.
Yeah.
Or, you know, it's like a product of its time. And so,
Yeah.
like, you can't like make something that has the same feeling 20 years later.
But I think that's the same thing we saw with like the Secret of Mana remake. Like they misunderstood a lot of what made that game special. So in doing like a 1-to-1 remake, it's just with less interesting looking graphics, it caused issues.
We could talk about it a little longer, but we shouldn't. But that has the original Beatles member literally creating that. So it's a weird. That's a weirder
That's
one.
a weird one too. Yeah. So that's
Wait, what?
that's
So the creator of Secret of Mana made the remake.
Oh, like
so
Ringo
it would be
Starr
like,
was a voice actor in this or
well,
something.
it actually would have been more like if John Lennon,
got knighted,
or
actually.
because he was the lead designer,
Yeah.
remade the
that is
game.
that is an
and-
interesting one. I do remember reading that, and yeah, that kind of goes with the like. There's kind of like that idea, like you don't really understand what made your game special, and then you also don't understand your modern audience. So it's like this weird thing. I think that's why we're lucky that Final Fantasy 15 turned out the way. I mean, obviously, a lot of people didn't like it, but we liked it. And they're doing good things, obviously, with 14 and stuff like that. We'll see what happens with Kingdom Hearts. We will definitely see what happens with the 7 remake because who knows, you know?
Right.
But yeah,
Just to answer your question about the mechs, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of an unnecessary type.
well,
thing.
how far are you into the game before we?
I am.
It's in 2 hours?
I'm 2 hours into it. The city disappeared, and I just spent the night in a hut somewhere.
Because the mech thing sounds almost like Xenogears.
well,
'Cause it opens up with a mech fight.
Yeah.
So
the
what
mech
is it?
thing-
I don't know
Oh,
what
sorry.
it is.
So you I don't you have them.
There's two forms of combat. There's
Yeah.
combat as regular characters, and then there's combat as those characters in robot suits.
But you played it?
Yeah, I did one mech fight.
So describe. Can you describe?
Basically you do something. I forget what it is. There's some sort of like buildup that you do when it goes into your attacks, and then it basically makes you invincible, and all of the other guys' attacks will bounce off of you and go back to them.
So why aren't you always in mech form when you fight?
They don't give you the option to.
Is it just like part of the narrative where now you're in a mech and
No, I think according to the demo, which I mean, when
Did
I
you
played
play
the
it?
demo, yeah, I played the demo.
Oh, okay.
Do you get it late? Is it like an ability you can?
I think it's an
summon
ability.
on
I
and
think
off?
there's
Ability
like
in the
I think
demo.
there's like a type of not currency, but like health currency, like HP, MP, like mech points, where you like have a certain amount of time that you can use it before you have to recharge.
Is that like
type of thing.
like a limit break kind of?
Yeah, I don't think it's like a limit break. I think you can, because the other reason you have the mechs was to do things on the map. So like you were exploring the dungeon area and there was giant rocks, so you needed
got
to
it, okay.
you needed to put on the guy that has the mech suit that can break rocks, like
Just
that
use
kind of thing.
my HM2 man crush. We're all good.
Yeah.
cool? Well, so anything else? Any closing comments on your
No,
Lost Sphere?
I no. I want to play it some more, but I did download Sea of Thieves, so I might play that when I get home.
Heck yeah. We
Nice.
should we should all download that. I want to say I saw a deal today for $2 for 2 months.
Okay,
of
you're getting
Games
into the
Pass.
news, Brank.
Sorry.
You're literally
That's not even in the news.
ruining the show.
Double dip in
That
here.
was just something I told you guys about.
Just kind of cross that off. That's
Okay,
great.
That's
All right,
fine.
We're
Talk
screwed
about
now.
Sea of Thieves.
So Branky Poo, what are you playing?
Yeah, I'll just real quick say because I haven't changed anything. I'm still really
Not
deep.
even your pants.
Not in my pants. Since the last time you guys see me, I haven't changed anything.
Changed anything.
I'm still.
I've discovered how to stop my facial hair from growing.
That's it. That's all I
Nice.
do. Nice facial hair remark. Yeah, so I'm still playing Neo. It's awesome.
Shave my beard.
Yeah, Donna shaved his beard. But yeah, I'm pretty far into that. It's great. And I recently put up a review about Flint Hook. I really want Donna to listen to it because I talk about roguelikes in it quite a bit. Very positively, I might add. And if people are from another country, I'm very sarcastic. Yeah, I've set down Flint Hook. I did not finish it. I said in the review.
Okay.
I got to a point where the game becomes a roguelike and I want to enjoy my time with it. So I'll pick it up when I want to play it, but I don't think I'm going to play it again.
How close were you to finishing it?
So there's 4 bosses.
Right.
I was on the 4th, and I say this in the review, so it's not a spoiler. At the 4th boss, you have to fight all 3 bosses in a row and then fight him without dying. And it took me 8 hours to beat the 3rd boss alone. So
8
yeah.
hours of dying and restarting.
Yeah, restarting
and going
over and over
back.
again.
Yeah.
So if you get to the 3rd boss, which means you have to beat the first 2 with the same amount of health, and then you get to the 3rd one and you die on him, you start over again. And then the last boss has supposedly a lot of like cheap moves, cheese moves that you can't dodge. So you have to take
I mean,
damage.
does this make it really a roguelike or
No,
just
no, no,
like
it is
any Mega Man game or any platformer
Yeah.
from when we were kids
I was
where
just-
you can't save your progress against?
I talked about in the review that it is a roguelite that I feel like at time wants to be a roguelike. Because roguelikes normally have that progression. You have to kill all the guys and do this thing. Now, it's a roguelite still. You can upgrade your guy. But, I mean, there is no amount of upgrade that makes fighting for 1 full hour easier. Because that's how long it takes to get to the last boss. It's about 45 minutes to an hour in a run.
I mean, but the only thing that it makes me think of, just because especially since it's side-scrolling, is that just reminds me of platformers from like Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Nintendo.
It's just I mean, like I mentioned in the review, like Rogue Legacy is the highlight of all roguelites for me. And I feel like if this game would have allowed me just to fight the final boss, I would have beaten it. Because that's how, I mean, Rogue Legacy doesn't allow you to fight the first, after you beat each boss, it closes the door till you do New Game Plus. I love the game. Like that's what I said in the review too. And I decided to review it before I finished it because I didn't want to hate it by spending 10 more hours. Sure. So I think I played for 15 hours. I enjoyed it. You know, I was
Yeah, it sounds like you got your money worth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're also playing Neo still?
Yeah, that's great. There's not a whole lot to say. I don't think I'm going to beat it. I'm on like mission 9 of 19 or 18 missions. It's incredibly difficult. It's really fun, really challenging. But and we didn't put this in the news, but Ni no Kuni 2 comes out on Friday.
Neo Kuni too.
Neo Kuni 2. I loved Ni no Kuni 1. That was probably, and I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, probably one of my top 3 PS3 games. I can't wait for this one. I know it's not supposed to be as good of a story, but I've heard that the combat and adventure elements are maybe even better. And it's got the same composer from Studio Ghibli.
Cool.
Joe Hisaishi. It's awesome.
Cool. Anything else, Frank?
No. Check the Flint Hook review will be up by the time people listen to this.
Nice. Who here has Kingdom Come? Who has it right now amongst
Me.
us? Okay. Should we just sell that to GameStop? Should we just get credit
Well,
for it?
I haven't played it yet, so once
Okay.
he is done with it, I want to
Okay.
try it for at least like a few hours, and then we can get rid of it.
I can just tell you now, I'm not going to play it. So
Yeah, I will rebuy that game digitally when it's about $20. I really do want to play it, but I do think we should. We love the developers; they're friends of ours, and they gave us a really awesome interview when very few people have so far. But yeah, it's not an easy game to just sit down and play, and it will be it's already been on sale once.
Real quick, episode title: Kingdom Come to GameStop.
Okay, let's do that. Everybody's still waiting for Kingdom Come because Monster Hunter World is the top selling game of February. So everybody's still
saw
waiting for.
that.
That's crazy. That is insane. But anyways, so
you stopped playing that though, Frank? I
I haven't played it yet. It's
thought you
not-
said you played it.
I mean I haven't like played it again.
Oh, okay,
Since
okay.
then, it's not the game for me. So I might
Gotcha.
try it again when I have time.
Okay. Well, I'll quickly run through the games I'm playing. Still playing Legend of Zelda. Not too much to report there. Just getting my shrine on.
I know I shouldn't ask you, but how many shrines, man? I gotta know.
I don't know.
Like 30, 40?
I don't know.
How many hearts do you have?
I think I have 7 hearts. So I got the 1 heart container from beating the Divine Beast. And then I've gotten, I think, 2 heart upgrades and then maybe 2 stamina wheel upgrades. So what is that like?
So we're at least talking 16 shrines.
Yeah, I think I'm
maybe
like
20.
in like the 20. I'm actually overdue. I think I currently have 6 spirit orbs that haven't made it back to a town. So
Dude, that game is so great.
yeah, it is.
I highly recommend prioritizing hearts until you hit about 13 or so.
Did you get the
I-
sword
yeah.
yet?
I did that.
Sword, Master Sword.
Yeah.
No, I'm not anywhere close
I did
to that.
but I fully upgrade my stamina wheel. I did actually just.
You waited to get to the Master Sword until you fully upgraded
No.
your stamina wheel?
I said I meant to say like I got hearts first, but in the end you can only choose one or the other. I
Yeah,
chose
I-
full stamina wheel.
I chose full stamina wheel as well.
I'm
It's
in-
just so useful.
I'm going back and forth because I find
What we're not to interrupt, but also to interrupt, what we're specifically talking about is when you
Yeah.
complete all 120 shrines, you can't max out both your stamina
no, I understand
and your
that.
hearts.
Yeah, I got that. But right now, I'm going back and forth because
Yeah,
I
that's
find
good.
myself climbing things or swimming, drowning, and falling.
Have you located the rest of the climbing gear?
I have just the helmet.
You should just Google search if you haven't
Yeah.
found the other pieces because
okay.
they're very accessible.
Okay.
Or do the divine beast of the Ruto people? Was that
The
bird
Rito?
people?
Oh, the Rito?
Rito, sorry.
Yeah, so as amazingly useful as that power was because of my stamina and climbing set bonuses, I actually used it a lot less than I thought I would.
I still use that like nonstop in the game.
But yeah, like you should just find the rest because you get set bonuses
Yeah.
for equipping everything once you upgrade it a couple times, and having the climbing gear is
Yeah, I just
Very
haven't found that
useful.
yet. But okay, yeah, maybe I'll look for it. So I'm playing that, which is super awesome. My son, who's a little guy who loves pirates, he wanted to start playing Donkey Kong Country 2 because it's pirate themed.
Nice.
So I'm playing that on the Pi, which is super fun.
Real quick, because it's been a while, is
Yeah.
the first world pirate themed or is just the first couple levels?
The whole game is pirate themed because all of the Kremlins are pirate themed.
okay.
But the first world especially is pirate themed because it's a pirate ship.
Yeah, because I remember
there's
the,
like a ghost pirate world later.
Yeah, it's I mean there's like the roller coaster.
yeah, because there's the theme
Yeah.
park. Like that's not pirate.
But when you
know.
go into the Gloomy Gulch, there's like a haunted mansion level, and there's a ghost pirate guy who chases
Yeah.
you. But all the Kremlins either have like peg legs or shoot cannonballs or wear pirate hats. It's like it's awesome.
I remember getting that for Christmas and playing that all Christmas night, like
Yeah.
or Christmas Eve and playing it that evening. Oh man, that game's
Dude,
great.
yeah, it's an awesome game, and it's obviously ages really well, and my son's loving it, and we just beat the second boss, which is a giant pirate sword who floats in the lava.
that's
So
right.
he thought that was so cool. So we're in the swamp world now.
Oh, that's Super Mario RPG that also has a sword as a boss, and I'll always remember that.
Isn't that the last boss?
I think he's the last boss, but I feel like you fight a small version of him somewhere in the game too.
A dagger.
And I'll never forget like those two things. Just think like, oh wow, these are sword bosses. You
Yeah.
know, like
No, it's cool. So he's having a good time playing that with me, which is super fun. And then the third game that I picked up this week is Little Nightmares, playing it on the Xbox, which has been really cool.
We talked about that last week for the Switch thing.
We did.
You actually played it now.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing. I was just managing my apps or games on Xbox last week, and I realized that I had Little Nightmares somehow. I don't know how.
Nice.
I don't ever remember buying it. Anyways, it's been really fun. Have any of you guys played it?
No, is it like creepy though? Because I saw some of the animations in the trailer.
Yeah,
look
it's
pretty
creepy.
Okay.
Yeah, it is creepy.
But it's like Tim Burton creepy.
It
isn't
is. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Tim Burton creepy. It's like, yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas creepy, where
Some Conjuring 2 or
there's this dash of Conjuring 2 in there. So what makes the game creepy though is just how frail and tiny and your character is in comparison to all the monsters and things, which are humongous compared to you. And they do this really cool mechanic in the game where when you're in close proximity with a monster, your controller pulses as a heartbeat, and the closer you get to the monster, the faster it beats.
It sounds like kitchen sink mechanics to me.
Oh my gosh, they just
sink.
threw them in there. There's a mech boss fight and
garbage
all these
disposal.
currencies. It's ridiculous.
Belts.
So
Bells.
for the audio listeners, though, and I feel like this is why JJ asked, you're not playing this game with your son.
Oh, I'm playing exclusively with my son and my 1.5-year-old daughter.
It was just that was sarcasm.
She loves the horror movies.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
Davey keeps screaming. His son's like, "Calm down, Dad." It's just like,
I have to sleep in his bed because I'm scared. No, but I am playing it by myself. But actually, just before you guys all showed up for the podcast, I was playing it with my wife, and she was like, "I don't want to watch this game." And then like 5 minutes later, she's like, "Oh, look out for the monster!" And she was like getting like all into it and stuff like that.
That's
It's
funny.
awesome.
My girlfriend she's like always wanting me to play horror games specifically.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, but I don't
Get
really
Fatal
own any.
Frame.
Those are like really terrible, right?
Yeah, but they have like ridiculous pervy Japanese stuff in them that makes it hilarious.
Yeah, I don't,
That sounds like the worst recommendation I've
that's, like,
ever
not
heard.
really,
Play Fatal Frame, okay?
Dead Space.
For a friend of
Dead
mine.
Space has some pretty good jump
yeah,
scares.
like
Dead
she
Space
liked
is
when I was
awesome.
playing. She really liked watching me play Alan Wake.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what about Alan Wake?
Love that
yeah,
game,
she.
yeah.
You gotta play Oxen P.
Yeah.
She'd love that.
Yeah, and that's like I
It's-
think about it for $2.
Well,
on
it's free
Switch.
now
really,
with Twitch
she really
Prime.
enjoyed the first Bioshock.
It's a good one. Also.
But yeah, so
You guys should all play Inside. This is before we began Super
I don't
BS.
really take my games outside. So.
But Inside,
with the Switch Portable.
Oh my gosh!
Inside is a platformer very similar to Little Nightmares. That's what's normally compared to.
I thought it was compared to Limbo.
Well, it's, yeah, because it's from the same devs. But
Limbo's great.
Little Nightmares, I should say, is compared to Inside. And it's really excellent. It has creepy elements, but it's not a horror platformer. So, did you get to play that, JJ?
No, actually, I have Limbo, but I haven't even played Limbo yet.
I couldn't get
Do you
into Limbo.
Is it good? No.
Limbo's awesome, but
Yeah.
it kind of bothers me now. I can't play it anymore because I have a son and like the main character's like a little boy. It just kind of like weirded me out.
Okay.
I have issues, obviously.
Is it worth
You're
taking
freak.
the time to play? Is what I'm.
Yeah, it's a really
it's
fun
a unique
game.
experience.
Yeah, I really liked it.
Absolutely.
Honestly, if not to discount them, but I'd skip it and play Inside now. If it were me, just
I thought
because
it was
if
just
you,
called
well,
Inside.
I have Limbo already on my Xbox. I don't have the other one.
well, delete that game on your Xbox.
Sell it to GameStop.
I heard if
GameStop.
you delete
Digitally.
it, if you delete it and reinstall it 6 times, it turns into Inside.
I'd do that.
Whoa.
Do that. Do
I'm
what
gonna
Donna
try
said.
that.
I
as
also
soon as I
heard.
get home.
I also heard if you have a juice box and you lift up the tabs and you have an X on each side, you get a pair of rollerblades.
Ooh, shit.
Whoa.
That's like my preschool lore. Did you guys have lore like that in your preschools or
My
elementary schools?
uncle worked at Nintendo, so
My
I heard a conspiracy theory that Taylor Swift is the granddaughter of Anton LaVey, the Satanic Bible guy, and that she was like body swapped with John Benet Ramsey.
I mean,
Dude.
it makes sense.
You can like Google that. That's like a legit conspiracy theory.
I'm into it.
you mean like a real theory, not conspiracy.
it's a legit real.
That's a
theory.
legit truth.
Legit truth. Well,
I'm a
anyways,
truther.
Little Nightmares is super fun and really scary and eerie and jumpy, and the puzzles aren't too hard yet, but it's fun because you just make quick progression. The saving mechanic is cool. where
What
you-
is it?
You light these little lanterns with your lighter. The game is really simple, but all your ability to interact with the objects in the world and the physics are pretty intuitive and really fun. So for the most part, like if you find yourself to be an intuitive thinker, you all of your solutions are kind of just like sprawled out on the floor, and you're like, how would I really solve this as a person, as opposed to how can I jump on this Goomba and get coins? It's
Well, duh. Goombas always give coins.
Do the
Not
Goombas
that-
do the Goombas stack in this game?
oh,
That's what we
dude,
want.
you got to stack them, and then you got to present yourself to the Goomba babe.
Goombaya.
Kumbaya, my lord. But yeah, it's super fun, and I recommend it. I'd recommend it above Inside, especially. If anyone ever says it otherwise, they're in limbo.
I'll let them know.
But with that, we're going to take a break before anyone else gets a last word on that. And badoosh.
Inside is the worst.
Oh my gosh.
They're all wrong.
Frank here from Super BS. I want to share a little bit about some friends of ours and their incredible company, Innovate Inc. Innovate is a young company immersed in the latest technology. As video game enthusiasts, they've embraced both AR and VR and use these technologies to significantly change the ways that we can experience the world. But Innovate isn't just an AR or VR company. They also help take businesses to the next level by building attractive websites, creating modern brands, and using digital marketing to engage current and new audiences. They focus on working with small businesses who are looking for a professional digital brand. You could have a bad experience trying to build a website by learning JavaScript or HTML, or you can count on Innovate. They pride themselves in delivering the best service by working with you to get your ideal outcome. If you're interested in learning more about their work or the companies who have partnered with them, check out their website at innovate.tech. That's INNOVADE.tech. Invent, invest, improve. Innovate.
And we're back.
We were just, while all the listeners were away on your break, that you won't actually hear because we're just skipping. We were talking about how great that first half was.
We were
How-
just like high-fiving each other.
yeah.
All day long.
So you're welcome, guys.
You're welcome.
and I hope you enjoyed that ad.
It's episode 44 for
right,
you.
cool,
What ad
guys.
are you going to throw their way?
It's for a company called Innovate.tech.
Oh my gosh.
We don't have any news,
rad.
guys. Sorry, we're
We have no news.
short
We came
today.
back just to say goodbye.
Now, does Innovate, that implies that all of their innovations are invasive?
They are.
Yeah.
And
Invasive
exclusively,
innovations.
exclusively invasive.
they invade your private domicile, okay?
Actually, there's an R. It's a silent, invisible
You
R.
paused
Vader,
a little too
invader.
long after you said they invade your private.
So it's pivot. It's a silent R.
Yeah, there's a silent, invisible R again. They're really
Invent, invest, improve, innovate.
creative. Okay. Did you coin that?
I did. It's actually
Wow.
for them.
It's actually,
I like
They
it.
needed a tagline.
it's actually improve again. Silent
Yeah,
R.
silent R.
Improve, sorry.
That's one of their big innovations.
It's Brank and his kitchen sink thinking. So we're
I threw a whole
Speaking-
kitchen sink in there.
Speaking of silent R's, Donna, why don't you tell me about Eld Cole's online Umers? Umos.
Hummus.
My writing is not that bad.
No, I was
had to
going
write
silent
a
R.
lot.
I was going silent R's. I could read what you said for once.
You're a baby boy. No one expects great writing.
I wanted to scribble like everyone else.
Cursive is hard.
Cursive is hard, and that's why they don't teach kids anymore cursive. That is crazy. True fact.
Cursing, however, is very easy. Which
It's
is why
true.
they
It's a
teach
true
kids to
fact.
say shit all day.
And they teach that stuff at school. They got rid of cursive and they added cursing.
Anyway, so Elder Scrolls Online rumors or Umers.
Umers.
From Spare So what's not a rumor is that ZeniMax Online is going to be announcing a big announcement tomorrow. The rumor is that they're announcing their next big expansion, which is going to be Somerset Isles. So this was determined by data mining nerds.
Is that the island in the Wicker Man that Nick Cage finds himself on?
That is the exact same island, yeah.
That's awesome.
Run by the Thalmor.
Nicholas
and
Cage.
nuns.
Nicholas Cage is there. His bones.
It's a big honey scheme.
Yeah, it's a really big into honey.
Isn't the Thieves Guild all about honey?
They're all about that honey.
No, but for reals though, isn't there like a Thieves Guild mission in Skyrim where you like steal honey?
I feel
It's like a mead factory.
Madam Briar something. I don't
I don't know. It sounds right.
Off topic, real quick. Didn't we try to rewatch The Wicker Man about 10 years after we watched it the first time?
Yeah.
And it was
I think
almost unwatchable.
I think it bummed me out. I think I got depressed afterwards.
It wasn't funny at all. This was after you had finished law school at your second place of.
Just refresh my
yeah.
memory. That's where Nicolas Cage gets burned alive on the
Yeah.
thing, right?
It's also where he drop kicks women in a bear costume.
Yes.
There are some amazing parts. If anyone has not seen The Wicker Man, go watch it and then go watch the Wicker Man comedy trailer, which is probably the greatest thing of all time.
I'm really interested in watching the original Wicker Man with Christopher Lee.
I bet
wonder if it's creepy.
kind of creepy and
Oh,
scary.
Christopher Lee is the man?
70s movie. He's not the Nick Cage man. He's like the Lord of the Island man.
Oh.
Somebody that they don't really talk about in the
Yeah.
new one.
Interesting.
But yeah, those like movies from the 70s creep me out. I don't know why.
I was
They're
reading
creepy.
about the Soylent Green movie where they eat people, which
Yeah.
is based on a book where people are not somebody that they eat at all.
What is Soylent Green in? That's in
There's a company called Soylent Green now.
but
So
no, it's but what movie is that from the 70s?
there's a movie called Soylent Green.
Is it just called Soylent Green?
Yeah.
What is
there
the
was
word you're saying? Soylent?
Soylent. Yeah.
So it's this like food. It's like in a futuristic movie in the 70s. It's like a food product that's actually made of people.
And there's too many people on Earth, so they just
Oh.
grab up all the homeless. Anyways, sorry.
Anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
Somerset
All about
Isle.
Elder Scrolls.
Somerset Isles. So Somerset Isle is the homeland of the insanely racist Aldmeri, or Aldmer. They're if you have played Skyrim, you encounter the Thalmor a lot, which is like their version of the Inquisition. So Somerset Isles will be cool. It's talked about a lot. So
For the
basi-
racism.
Yeah, for the racism. No, but that's just like, there's a lot of racial tension in Elder Scrolls games, and usually the Aldmer are like the most extremely racist. The reason that they're thinking this, or that people are thinking this, is because they've data mined like the files from Elder Scrolls Online, and so, but I guess Somerset Isles has been in there for a couple of years now, so it's kind of expected. And then the logo for the announcement they released has like, I don't know, some type of trees that would imply it's potentially Somerset Isles. So it'd be cool. Supposedly, also from data mining nerds, it's like twice as big as the Morrowind expansion map size. I don't know what that means for how much content will actually be in it, of course, but
And do you know if it will be like Morrowind cost $40 to buy?
so I don't know if it'll be another expansion or if it will be just another DLC.
That you can just purchase in
I think we can imagine it'll be an expansion though, right?
with the
if it's that big, then yeah, right?
So yeah, based on if the size predictions are accurate, I would be surprised if it wasn't an expansion. However, they did just come out with their first expansion only less than a year ago, Morrowind, and they've added DLC like entire provinces before, like Hrothgar and things like that, Clockwork City. So those are entire zones that are just added to the game as DLC, which aren't expansions, and they're free for subscribers. So I don't know. But yeah, so it's exciting. Again, we'll find out more tomorrow. Hopefully there's maybe a new class or something. There's definitely going to be new dungeons, new gear, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see. A rumor that I'm going to start is that there's
you heard it here first, guys.
there's an 11 gigabyte update today.
That's not the rumor part though, right?
No, that's happening.
Let him finish.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if they have something in store for tomorrow to go along with the announcement. I don't know. I doubt it's going to be a surprise release. I doubt they would just release it the day it's announced, although that would be amazing. But it's a huge file size for just like an update, especially when they just released new content and they just added a bunch of new content to the game in February when they released not just new dungeons, they released a whole new outfit mechanic, a whole bunch of new things to the game. So it would be weird that now they're doing this big, huge update, which is bigger than, anything I've seen for a while. So I'm expecting something more than just an announcement of an expansion. I'm expecting some type of release tomorrow.
Do you think the player base is there to keep doing this for a long time?
I assume so. I mean, they wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't.
I'm just curious because I don't know.
That's
how
the
much
sniff.
Of
There we
I
go.
I don't know how much of ZeniMax's income is made on this single game.
I'm gonna look up the player base right now.
Yeah, I have no idea. I know that. I'm assuming they wouldn't be really doing it the way they are if it was really that unprofitable. I mean, there's so many of those MMOs out there, the Terras of the world,
Terra. Oh my gosh.
The only reason why. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, they sell like anytime I go into like a Target or something, they sell the physical copies of like the Morrowind expansion. People buy them. People are buying them all the time.
Everybody, there's a line around
No,
the Target.
but I mean, like it. Target doesn't keep anything out on their shelves that doesn't sell. So
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I'm assuming that it does.
What I'd be more interested is not the number of players, but how many are subscribers.
Okay, so here we go. This is according to one article,
How recent?
December 2017.
Oh, that's recent enough.
So it says the actual number is 2.5 million players, which is still a healthy number for an MMO, but by far nothing close to the very misleading number reflective of players that have made accounts over the life of the game, obviously. There's still a question of how many of those 2.5 million are actual players and not bots, but at least we know that the game is indeed healthy.
Yeah, I was just curious because there's World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy 14, and they are
WildStar.
always WildStar, the games that are all popular.
Dude, WildStar, I think, was popular.
But
But it was like I think it was like Terra, and what's the other one?
Eve.
Well, Terra's
No,
coming out
Eve's-
to Xbox
Eve's-
One.
Eve's Eternal.
Eve is Eternal.
Yeah.
Terra was a great game.
Terra is coming to Xbox One.
Yeah.
So,
but what I
like-
meant is that these games are more where it's like they start off subscription based and go free to play, which Elder Scrolls Online did. But you stop hearing about them as well. Whereas
But this one I keep hearing about. That's why I'm wondering, like, okay, they're putting money into it. It must be worth the investment.
Well, they're making money on it. I think
Yeah.
that's really what is doing it. Like
Yeah.
it's not the player base; it's that the people who are playing it are supporting the system, and they're not going to keep doing that if it's not making money.
yeah, I'm sure that's the same with Final Fantasy 14. All that's all sub based. So you have to subscribe for a game like that.
yeah, I wish it wasn't sub, and I'd probably try it.
I mean, I'd play. I would sub for it instantly if it was on Xbox, but I'm not gonna buy a PlayStation 4 for
That's
it.
lame. That's not on Xbox.
Are we interested in the top 10 player base for MMOs?
We can- real
as of
quick.
2017. It'll be super quick.
Yeah. I'm
So
interested in
it's WoW, 14, Online, Elder Scrolls Online, RuneScape, Black Desert Online. Forgot about Black Desert Online.
That's coming to Xbox One.
Guild Wars 2, which I forgot was still relevant. Neverwinter, Star Trek Online,
Neverwinter's on Xbox, and so is Star Trek.
Neverwinter's free to play.
Yeah, they're both on Xbox.
and then Elite Dangerous, which I've never heard of.
yeah,
That's,
I can't believe that's an MMO. That's a first-person space shooter.
Are these
Elite
any-
Dangerous is a Kickstarter game too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But it's like
It's made by some
Wing
guy. So
Commander.
there's that whole genre of games like first person like space exploration shooters where
Yeah.
you like kind of like EVE Online, although I don't think that's a first. I think that game plays out in like text more.
that can play as a third-person game where you run around and then you control a specific part of the ship.
Yeah, but Elite Dangerous, yeah, is like a space exploration sim. And it was made by a guy that's known for making that, and this one was kickstarted. I
Are
think.
you sure you're not getting that confused with
there's what's the other one?
Space Star Citizen.
Star Citizen?
Star
Yeah.
Citizen's the one that's not out yet, right?
Yeah, Star
Yeah,
Citizen's
that's-
the one that has like it's one of the highest funded non.
Well, I think
AAA
Elite Dangerous
games
was.
ever.
I think Elite Dangerous was also because it's the. I think the game's a spiritual successor to is called something Elite, right?
I don't know, but I just know Star Citizen is I think it's made $50 million in funding, if not more at this point.
I've heard more about Elite though. That's the one where they just discovered alien races like last year,
Yes,
right?
yes,
And
that
then
is that game,
That
but-
was cool.
Star Citizen is the one with Mark Hamill, Gary Oldman. Like it's got. Is there more games? Sorry, we
The
did.
last
Are you
game.
sorry? Are you reading these in order?
Yes,
he did.
I was.
He did read them.
Okay,
in order.
no,
Yeah,
it's
the
just-
last game is Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Yeah, is that still like breathing? Like is
Apparently,
it?
it's 10th. So I mean, it has less than 2.5 million players. Then,
Yeah.
if we know that the third highest game on here,
I might
is-
try Black Desert when it comes on Xbox if it's free to play.
dude, it's a Korean game, so it's gonna be super grind heavy.
But if it's free,
I mean, I'm just saying. Terra was an awesome game that was also Korean based, and it's really fan servicey, really grind heavy.
Yeah, a lot of the Asian games seem to be. I mean, not Japanese actually, but the like
Yeah.
Korean and Chinese MMOs are heavily grindy.
do we know if the Korean companies that make these games are the same ones responsible for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds? Because I know that comes from Bluehole, which is from Korea, and I feel like had previously done MMOs before they got into PlayerUnknown. So
I don't know.
I was just curious about that, but we have so much news, so I
Yeah.
guess we probably shouldn't
Okay.
like just.
All right,
Just as a confirmation, Elite is the name of the series of games dating back to 1985, and Elite
Oh.
Dangerous is like the fourth one.
Oh, it's okay. it is.
And it
continuation.
was
I didn't know that.
kickstarted, but because the one before the third one was 1995, and it was
Yeah.
kickstarted like.
And that's a
whenever.
game people can pick up on everything besides Switch. I mean, it's
oh, dude, I bet I played that game with my dad because he had a space game around that time on his laptop.
Are you sure it wasn't TIE Fighter, the super popular Star Wars
yeah,
game?
I'm sure it wasn't.
Whoa.
What?
That's making fun of me for being a nerd.
I guess that's Brank's voice. You're next, JJ, for voice imitation.
Please.
So, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Who's here? The biggest Angelina Jolie
Real quick,
fan.
these guys are, but real quick, I heard a lot of people complaining that they released the trailer so far away, or the teaser so far away from the trailer and so far away from the release date. But like I was telling them, hey, I'm glad to know that it's been confirmed that it exists.
The release date's October. That's
I think
not
it's
far at
September.
all.
I thought it was September.
I mean, okay,
It's-
September, yeah, but it's not far. Like,
No,
Yeah.
I know, and I'm just because we've just known that it's been rumors. We know it's coming out, but it's just been like rumored. But now it's nice to know that it's like in stone. That
does
it's,
no one remember Final Fantasy 13 Versus when they complain about these games that have a 9-month length before release? Like, I remember watching the Final Fantasy 13 Versus trailer in 2006, and people are complaining about a game that's going to be released in 9 months.
Well, different time, and people always like to complain, and people's complaints were not as easily accessible back then, and
I guess.
people suck.
That's true.
Those are all true points.
That's true. That's true.
all right, we're moving on.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's fine. We'll see the gameplay and stuff, or the trailer in April, and then we'll see the game in September. That's great. I'm interested in a lot of things. I think we talked in the text, but it's being developed by a different team than Crystal Dynamics, which
A really good team.
It worries me,
being sarcastic.
but it doesn't really worry me. I know that the Eidos Montreal is a good team. They made the Deus Ex games, but Deus Ex aren't particularly pretty games.
Big to differ,
Real quick, Mankind Divided though it's pretty.
It's decent looking, yeah.
Just need to
But
spruce
it's-
up those balconies.
But I mean, the graphic work that Crystal Dynamics did on just Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is old at this point. I mean, it's insane. So I'm worried a little bit about the change in development teams and the change in quality. I doubt that. I mean, maybe not. Square has done some weird things, so I'm hoping that that they either transferred like key members of the Tomb Raider reboot to Eidos Montreal from Crystal Dynamics, because Crystal Dynamics is working on an Avengers game.
it feels like they would have to have some members of the storyboard
I mean,
team involved.
it's got to be built on the same engine at the very least.
We need to see that Avengers game this E3.
Yeah,
like
but
it
if
has
it's-
been
if
way
it's-
too long.
If the Shadow of the Tomb Raider is not like a graphical powerhouse that takes advantage of not even just the PS4 Pro, but especially the Xbox One X, I mean, that will be a huge misstep on Square Enix's part.
Yeah, it'll be a miss
It
for sure.
definitely will, though, because even Mankind Divided, which was released, I mean, I know Rise of the Tomb Raider would be the one to really qualify because that one was released way earlier, and it definitely takes advantage of the Xbox One X. But Mankind Divided also takes advantage of the PS4 Pro and Xbox
But
One.
what I meant is that like there's certain games that take advantage of it, but it's not like they look like jaw-dropping. What I'm saying is that because of the precedent from even the last generation 2013 Tomb Raider reboot looked great. Rise of the Tomb Raider looked even better. Like this one has to look better. So sending it to the team that didn't develop the engine for it, we'll see. Hopefully they keep, it's supposedly this is the end of the Origin trilogy that they're doing, which is a good thing. I think we talked about in our Tomb Raider talk the idea of like, okay, this is a great formula. You don't want them to change it too much because it's fun. It's really engaging. I have almost zero complaints about the first two games. So I'm not ready for them to sort of like move on from that. But it's nice to know that they're considering this like the end of this trilogy. So whatever they do next could be a departure. It will probably be the same character, which is great because I think this is a really compelling Lara Croft. But there's room for her to do different things, different style of the game, because this is going to be more like this is the end of this trilogy. So
I do want to ask you guys, where do you think, because it felt like they kind of wrapped up her origin story in the last game, so where do you think they're going to go from here with that?
Prenatal.
most
Before birth,
I think what's going to happen. So it's pretty obvious from the credits or the end scene of Rise of the Tomb Raider that this game is going to take place in Mexico.
And the teaser showed Mayan culture.
Yeah, so that will be that's really exciting to me.
This is 2012.
Duh.
Duh. But say duh, Josh.
Oh, Duh.
Good.
Good one.
Now get Oots.
Hey.
But I think what we'll see is, so if you look at like the first of the reboots kind of being the game that sort of makes her like have to accept this this kind of lifestyle that she was avoiding, like her father's kind of like picking up where her father left off. And then this game is very specifically like finishing her dad's like research, like the last thing that he was working on, as well as kind of the ideas of like, she kills a lot of people in the first game, and in this game you get choices to kill people or not in certain ways. So I think she's kind of developing in her character there with like what she's trying to do, and also where it's like she's facing. I think we're going to see more of a development of Trinity, which is probably going to be her like main enemy in years to come, which is apparently the enemy in the original games as well. Obviously, this is all rebooted, so it is a little bit more coherent, but. So I think that,
And it wasn't just like pixely, no story, no voice acting, very little cinematics.
yeah, but I think,
And
I
dinosaurs.
think it's going to have to do with her confidence. Like I think in the first game, it was very much like terrifying, and then in the second game, she's like gaining confidence throughout. I think the third game, we'll see her like
Stepping
come into her
into it,
own
yeah.
a lot more, and then also we'll see a lot more development with the Trinity rivalry because that's hinted at a lot in the last game.
I also really like the progression between the classic Tomb Raider that we all grew up with and the Tomb Raider that we see now. Although I don't particularly side with all of the internet-based like political correctness, I really think that was a
Talking about the bosom situation.
not specifically, but I think that the move from that old model of Lara Croft to the current model was like really smart, and something that I would not be opposed to letting my daughter play or my son play when they're old enough to play games like that. But I think that the previous Tomb Raider, Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider era is just like a product of a bygone age. So I think it's cool that it's advanced in that way.
Yeah, this would definitely be something where I would say the kind of like Christopher Nolan Batman reboot. This would be like a good product of that influence.
It's more grounded.
Yeah.
I feel like JJ got a chance to watch the movie, right? Because I know that's about the Tomb Raider reboot.
I did, yeah. You want me to tell you about it?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. No, it was good. It was entertaining. Like they kind of dumbed down it was based on the first game, and they kind of dumbed it down a lot, took away a lot of like the supernatural elements of the game.
What do you think of Alicia Vikander?
I like her. She's pretty like badass. Like she kind of filled that role really well, and she looks like her sort of. But no, it was good. They changed some things, but I see why they did it, and like I'm okay with why they did it. But I just wish that they would have explored like the madness of what was the guy, Matthias. I wish they would have explored like his madness and his cult a little more, but instead of making it more like corporatized.
Oh, so I never actually beat the Tomb Raider reboot. So I actually did. Matthias is the guy who's with you, right? And then he's
the bad guy.
He's the guy that pretends to be like on your team at first, not on your
But
team.
he's on your boat, right? Originally,
No,
He's like
pretends-
one of the survivors that like leads the cult there.
Yeah, he pretends to be nice, but like all his people are like out of their minds. So they took that out, and they just made him more like he works for Trinity instead.
Did they take out like how much of the supernatural did they take out?
Okay,
I mean,
so
the end is pretty crazy.
in the
that first
game, Himiko controls lightning.
Okay.
And so in the movie, instead I guess they like didn't have time to explore all that. So she's just the carrier of a genetic disease that anytime she touches somebody, their flesh rots off their bone.
Interesting. Okay, so she doesn't become like possessed by the ancient spirit kind of deal.
No. So in the game, like Himiko's like super evil, but in the movie, like the reason they built that tomb on the island was just because she wanted to like hide herself from humanity.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Speaking of hiding themselves from humanity, Microsoft is leaving E3.
Yeah, that's crazy. We have so much news, so we probably won't talk about this too long, but they are leaving a Mixer booth or Mixler or whatever, their Twitch competitor, on the E3 floor. They're still going to have an E3 press conference, but like Bethesda and EA, they're going to hold their own conference.
they're
during the same time.
literally across like the street though.
That's
so
the
it's
same thing
not-
Nintendo does.
Yeah, well, Nintendo doesn't really even hold a conference. They just have one space on the floor, and then they do the
They have, their
direct.
space on the floor is huge.
Yeah,
though.
they have space on the floor though. This is the crazy thing is that after this, it's just going to be Sony and big third parties that are still there. This is honestly kind of like could be the end of E3. Like if Sony leaves the floor.
I feel like we've been hearing about the end of E3 since I was a kid.
Time.
I mean, you're right, but this is huge. Like this is one of the when Nintendo left, it was like, oh, this is the end of E3. But now we have Microsoft leaving, so all we have left is Sony, Activision's gone, Konami's gone, EA's gone.
Well, Konami is just gone.
Yeah,
To be fair.
But I mean, well, no, I mean they released Metal Gear Survive last month, but I mean, yeah, they are gone. But I mean, EA's left, Activision's
Does
gone.
Konami have anything in their development pipe besides pachinko machines now?
I don't know. They should. I think.
I know that sounds hilarious, but that's
Yeah,
extremely
that is
accurate.
literally what they do.
They make more money on gambling machines, so that's like
Really?
that's why they.
They have like a Club Med competitor too, so that's the other thing they own. It's really really interesting, but yeah. So I don't know. This is huge news. There's not a whole lot to say.
I'd be interested. I mean, one of the issues that I think Microsoft has had at E3 is that no matter how good of a show they do or what interesting things they announce, people just
Don't care.
they don't care. They always like Sony wins every year for most people.
Yeah, the one thing they do right though is that Sony
said doo-doo.
Sony has very few. They have like maybe one row of TV set up for people to play games on, whereas Microsoft has like 5 or 6 rows.
I know, but the actual event, like floor event of E3, I think is significantly less important than the announcement factors. Because
Because you're there, but we're all not there. You know,
We actually haven't physically been there. Yeah, JJ has been the only one who's been to E3.
but I mean,
internet
most,
is not
most
there.
people, most people aren't there, so
Yeah.
they're interested in like the announcement show, how spectacular it is, like what they announce.
And
et cetera.
Microsoft's, they're a huge company. They own the theater that most people do their announcements at. So
it makes
I think
sense
they're
that
doing
they
the
would
show there.
have something there then. Like,
Yeah,
if
that's what they're going to do. So this E3 is going to be weird, not only because of that, but because Bethesda is, I think, I can't remember if it's confirmed, but this should be the 3rd year that they're doing their own press conference, which means that they have a bunch of announcements. Like Bethesda Land last year was really cool and really interesting. But yeah, I don't know
What's
if you
Bethesda
guys.
Land? I forgot.
They did like the Skyrim VR.
Oh, that was the style of their
Yeah.
announcement.
And they
shows,
made it
like,
like
under
it was
construction
really
was
cool.
like their new games.
Well, so hopefully we get an interesting conference out of Microsoft then, because hopefully they have stuff to announce. It's
I feel
interesting.
like they always have every conference they've had has made me like, oh, this is cool. Like I haven't felt like bummed out by them, even though I feel like we're on the slow grind. But yeah, I know we got a lot to go over. So
this next article that we're going to talk about, or not article, but news topic, is Vivendi finally relinquishing their share of Ubisoft. So over the course of several years, Vivendi has been acquiring more and more stock of Ubisoft, and I know we on the show specifically speculated about Vivendi's potential takeover of Ubisoft and how it would be hostile and what it would do for the company, and how even though Ubisoft's a AAA developer, it still has a lot of its ownership retained by the brothers, and how it still has sort of a family mentality. So I don't know if this is necessarily good news that Vivendi is relinquishing its stock, because Ubisoft and Tencent are engaging in a new partnership, which
and the Ontario Teachers Convention.
Yeah, it's
Tencent.
Tencent, the big Chinese
Yeah, I know,
company,
I
owns
know.
everybody, but they only own 5%. So Vivendi owned. Oh, sorry.
what is it? Oh, this article I don't think specifically talks about the
so
ownership.
Tencent, I think, bought 5% of the stock. Vivendi originally owned 25%.
27.3.
Okay, so yeah, it was a huge amount.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Is that just 0.3 or was it like 0.3 repeating?
0.3 repeating.
Just to clear.
I'm just saying though, like this is them owning it. Yeah, that's a scary thing because they own a lot. But
Did they pay any production costs for any Ubisoft projects?
who? Vivendi?
No, they're just an
They're
investor.
the stocks.
Okay.
Yeah, just an investor. Vivendi definitely made money on that whole investment and the deal especially, but I think it's good in a lot of ways. I think it'll help Ubisoft grow. I don't know about being affiliated with Tencent. Tencent's a pretty humongous company as well. It's just the Chinese equivalent.
Do you think they'll try to sneak in on more
No.
shares?
They own right now. They almost own all of Epic. They own most of Activision, or they own some of Activision. They own almost all of Riot. Like I don't think they're gonna really go for. They now have a deal. This 5% also gave them a deal to publish in China.
10 cent.
10 cent. But I thought the interesting part was that like an Ontario Teachers Union was the other purchaser that helped them get away from Vivendi. Like so, this is like a union of teachers.
I
Does this
think.
explain the Assassin's Creed museum expansion thing?
Wait, so
That'd be
so
awesome.
read this is
brand new.
kind of a confusing sentence in this statement in this article. The Ontario Teachers Pension Plan and Chinese social media and game development giant Tencent will also enter as long-term investors in Ubisoft as part of the transaction. That is super weird. Is that maybe because Ubisoft, they're French, like French
They have
Canadian?
they have a lot of Canadian studios,
Yeah.
Montreal and Quebec, and maybe
Hey.
Ontario.
Hey,
Yeah, so I mean they've got a couple. I don't know Canadian geography very well, so I don't want to.
That's such that's so weird because I think in America pension plans they're like either not-for-profit organizations. I don't think those can specifically invest in publicly traded companies. It's really weird. Anyways, I think it's probably a good move for Ubisoft in the long run. They're probably going to make a lot of sales in China through this deal because I think Tencent is agreeing to publish several games.
so wait, just real quick, they didn't sell any Ubisoft games in China before this?
I don't know for sure, but they're just the way that it's written says Tencent will operate, publish, and promote several of Ubisoft's most successful titles on PC and mobile in the Chinese market.
Yeah, pretty much everything's played on mobile over there, so it makes sense that they're probably going to put like Assassin's Creed on iOS and just the way like PUBG, Fortnite, all those games are.
Those are on OS.
Those are all. That's.
Yeah,
I mean,
just released them.
we're going to talk about that in a second, and I'm going to duck my head out while you guys could talk about the rest of this and Soul Calibur. But I'll be back in about.
What are you gonna do out there?
Oh, we're actually taking a break right now.
Yo, we're back. So I don't think we want to talk about this too long, but I think we should give it a quick spot on the show. There was a situation where a young girl was shot over a dispute, like a video game dispute. Donna, right?
So in I believe it's Mississippi, a 9-year-old boy wanted to use a specific video game. I believe the fight was over a controller. So he wanted to use a specific video game controller, and his 13-year-old sister wouldn't let him or wouldn't give it up. I have no idea. And so the 9-year-old boy had apparently access to a loaded gun in his house. So he shot his sister in the head, and then she later died.
Crazy.
All crazier still is that on a Kotaku article describing this news story, the header picture had a Sony PlayStation controller, which instead of leading to a like heated debate about this tragedy and what that means for things like gun laws and all that kind of stuff, or the concepts of like how a 9-year-old can't understand the repercussions of his actions, etc. It was mostly a bunch of dweebs bitching about how they used a PlayStation controller in the header image, which was a dick move apparently.
Oh my gosh.
So they would have been okay with an Xbox controller?
Probably,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that's hilarious. And
Yeah, they absolutely would have. It's the same thing like when, like how people got so pissed at the Rise of the Tomb Raider partial, like timed exclusive, even though Microsoft helped fund the development.
And the Street Fighter 5 one was.
Yeah.
They didn't have. Yeah, it's whatever.
Sony fanboys are delirious, man.
they're
They were
cray.
the Xbox 360 fanboys of the last generation, to be fair.
Yeah,
Because they're
it's
the
very true.
majority. So.
Well, anyways, our hearts and prayers go out to that family. That's really sad. Our hearts and prayers do not go out to the Sony fanboys. Get lives.
And get wives.
Both.
And get more lives than video games.
One up.
Get a wife in every game you play.
I guess you got to play Fable.
You can marry a lot of people in that game.
Dive back into that like JJ style.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Geralt came to Soul Calibur 6. I think on the show a while ago we talked about Geralt potentially going to Tekken, and
Yeah,
like the
'cause
day
Noctis.
later, then the day later he was announced to go on to
We
Soul
were all
Calibur.
secretly hoping it was Smash Brothers, but
Yeah.
It makes so much sense that he's on Soul Calibur.
I don't think a single person here besides you even thought that was a remote possibility.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it. It would have been cool, but yeah, it's never crossed my mind as like a possibility. But then again, Snake didn't.
has
before
ever,
Brawl.
That's true.
Yeah, but Snake at least has games on Nintendo systems.
Which one was Cloud on?
GameCube.
What was Cloud
Also,
on?
the original Metal Gear Solid.
Was Cloud on Smash Brothers?
yeah.
Yeah.
That was a weird one for sure. I mean, Cloud has made it to
I would-
Nintendo systems via Kingdom Hearts,
Right.
and Final Fantasy obviously was originally a Nintendo series, but that's a stretch.
Yeah.
Cool. So Modern Warfare 2 remaster rumor.
Yeah,
That'd be
not,
awesome.
not a lot to say. They did release the first Modern Warfare. I didn't pick it up because they released for $30, which I thought was
That's a lot.
egregious for an old game. But I liked Modern Warfare 2 a lot.
I love Modern Warfare 2.
If a lot of our friends get it, just going to the favela map and jumping around
Dude.
using the ninja perk and then commando and just knifing people.
Yeah, I was all about those double shotguns, man. Those
Yeah.
like silver chrome, whatever shotguns.
That game was great because it was the only Call of Duty that allowed you to use your secondary weapon as a shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
Like it realized like, oh, a lot of people don't want that as a primary because you can't fight long range.
Yeah,
so
it's
use
worthless
a
on
secondary.
most maps. Yeah, that was a great game, man. I played
hopefully
that
it
a lot of-
releases.
Did you play when you played that game? Did you play those scenarios?
Oh yeah, those are
Dude,
great.
those are
I
so
actually
freaking
I
cool.
played those in 3. Actually, I didn't play those in 2.
Dude, the 2 ones are really good. Oh, yep.
Oh, all I was about to say was I was stuck in China and I had not a lot to play, so I bought Modern Warfare 3. We played it online for a few times with my friends, and they got over it. So I played almost all of those. I can't remember what they're called, but they're those missions where
Yeah.
we were supposed to play with 2 people, but I didn't have anyone to play as. So it was so much fun. Like there's an airplane one.
That's cool.
I love it.
Yeah, it was a great game. Okay, so real quick, let's talk about Fortnite Battle Royale. It's free to play currently. So I guess, are we all going to get it?
We should play it. This should actually honestly be a super BS thing
It's
that
like
we have
the
on the
biggest
website.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the biggest game in the world.
Having
It's
to,
crazy.
having to play a third-person shooter and also build stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's some people do some pretty crazy stuff on there.
Yeah,
though.
I've seen a lot of plays of it. Like,
It's crazy to think that it was a game that ripped off another game, and now it's the biggest game in the world, and now it's on iOS. So like,
Yeah.
And probably Android, but everyone can play it now, and I've heard it controls really well.
Yeah, that's,
which is strange.
I want to talk
it's
to
on
someone
Android and Droid actually.
Android. I want to talk to someone who's played it on mobile and console just to see
mean,
like
we
what
should-
the differences are.
We should honestly download that in PUBG. They're both available now.
You should talk to Drake
Which is
and or
crazy.
Ninja, who broke the Twitch streaming record while playing that game, right?
Ooh, yeah, that's
Was
true.
it 600,000 live viewers?
Yeah,
concurrent
600,000
viewers?
concurrent viewers. That's insane. Like,
a lot.
I get it. It's Drake, so people are going to watch, but it's kind of insane that 600,000 people decided to watch somebody play.
Did anyone watch Drake's stream?
No,
I want to know how many times he said side ting during it.
We suck here at Super BS when it comes to popular stuff, but we want to like mention this junk because
Yeah, it is junk though.
we don't care about like what Drake wants to do, but I thought that was really interesting. I was like, hey,
It
we
is
should-
interesting.
We should talk about that. We
It's a
should
big deal.
we should play this game though. Like honestly, we
Yes.
should all at least play one match together and put that up on the site.
Yeah.
I will play one match if we have one Zork session.
Yes.
I am down for that. Like we have our site,
Can
one
I,
Fortnite match, one Sword.
Can I point out a really awful internet meme that made me die laughing the other day?
Yeah.
It was a Rip Stephen Hawking picture, but it was actually just a picture of Drake when he was on that show in the wheelchair.
What, is that Degrassi?
Yeah,
or-
Degrassi.
Oh my gosh. Steven, we love you. We're really sorry about that. Had no control.
Yeah, it happened between this and last episode. I want to say, right?
Yeah.
Or was it right before?
Yeah, it was during the episode.
Yeah.
During
That's
the
crazy.
episode.
During the
Yeah,
episode.
we talked about it a little bit on the way home. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the Dundies.
Oh, the Nindies, the Nindy Direct today.
Yeah,
Crazy, back to back, right?
I guess.
Yeah, Nintendo's Direct last week, and then now we got.
I like how Brian is still like planting ideas in your head, right?
right. Hey, guys, listen to me. Have you guys heard this?
Who wants this news item?
All right, let's talk about the games that were announced during the Indies today.
Let's actually talk about the corporate guys that did
Well,
that video.
To be
Go for
fair, I only wrote a few of those games down. There was 14 games announced, but I only wrote the ones we were.
Did I
interested
say
in.
let's talk about every single game that was announced?
You said
Okay, did I
specifically.
explicitly say that?
I promise you, we will talk
10
about
minutes
every game
apiece.
Okay.
and 10 minutes a piece. These full paragraph.
All right, so
lists.
here are some of the games. Not all of them. Banner Saga 1 through 3.
So that's interesting.
Is it?
I think so. Like I think that's the system I wish I had them on, but I have all of them on Xbox.
Yeah, I
and one
won't.
of them on
Unfortunately,
Steam.
unless I see like a deal for all three that's under $20.
Is that a
I'm gonna-
roguelike?
No,
No,
Banner
no.
Saga is like a.
Turn-based strategy game.
It is like a
Okay.
turn-based, like Final Fantasy Tactics style game within a Nordic atmosphere with the art direction of like a classic Disney film. It's
cool.
It's really cool. It's like
amazing.
looks like Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah,
okay.
it's like that other guy that wasn't
Ralph
Disney.
Bashki.
No, the other guy that wasn't Disney back in the day.
Yeah, Ralph Bashki or whatever his name is.
No, I was thinking about the guy who did Secret Mice and Nims, Don Bluth.
Oh, okay, I'm thinking about the
His
guy that
production
like
company.
did.
Oh, George
it-
Bluth.
I'm thinking about the guy that did like the Lord of the Rings animated movie.
Oh, the
and
Hobbit.
Fire and Ice and Heavy
greatest-
Metal.
Were those all
Adventure.
produced though by Don Bluth? Because
No, they were drawn by Ralph Bashki.
Oh, okay. I didn't know the artist.
I'm hearing that something Bashki was affiliated with those.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Okay.
I could be wrong on his last name exactly, but I know it's that guy.
Sounded good.
I just remembered that was Disney and Don Bluth at the time, and the Don Bluth was a company or production studios. But yeah, that game looks awesome. Wish we could play them.
I'm gonna move on.
Okay.
You should move on.
Pode was also announced.
I'm actually really excited to play this. It looks cool. Do you guys have any interest?
Yeah, I thought that one looked really cool.
Yeah.
Is that the 3D one where it's like two boxish
Well-
looking characters? They
No,
look like
no,
circular-
yeah. So you're the box and the ball of light, and you have to use each other to cross all these obstacles and solve the puzzles and stuff. It looks interesting.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I wonder if it's gonna be co-op.
That could be really cool, especially if you can play on one Switch with the two Joy-Con.
Yeah,
Next is Reign, King and Queen.
Is a weird one. It's cool.
text based, right?
But it's not just text based. It's swipe based.
Oh.
So the game is made to play like a Tinder app, like not just happenstance.
But
Like
Brank kills at it from last week's episode. Your platinum.
but intentionally, that's how you play the game: is you swipe left or right. So I guess it's an interesting port to Switch
What was it on before?
phones.
So I hope it's not like Severed, because I didn't buy Severed for that specific reason. Severed needs to be played undocked, so you can use the touchscreen. And I'm not interested in that.
Do you think that they'll add any multiplayer, like party
But
mode?
you love undocked games.
I like playing undocked games, but I don't want to play a game that cannot be played docked. Like, I like the idea of the Switch,
Why would you not be able to play it docked?
because you have to use the touchscreen to play Severed. So I don't know about Rain, but Rain
Must be
is
severed from the dock.
Rain is a mobile game that uses the touchscreen normally. So
I'm
I
sure that
imagine-
they'll fix it, right? I mean, they'll make it adapted.
Yeah, there's something where there's like co-op in
I
it.
was just gonna ask, is there gonna be like some sort of party mode or?
But it's weird. Like I don't get the point of it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
They're fun games. They're fun games, really cleverly written, really bizarre, super cool for mobile. We'll see what that means on Switch.
I watched the direct, but I feel like I had that specific portion on mute. I was doing something else because I remember like coming back and being like, "Oh, this Rain. Okay, cool. I saw that. It's all muted." And then I got it all later.
So the direct was about 25 minutes. You only watched 20.
It's only like 10
It
minutes.
was 10. It was 10 minutes, and I missed like a minute. Yes.
a minute, let alone many minutes. The Messenger.
Looks cool. It kind of really like Celeste a little bit, but
Oh right, yeah, that game looks cool.
where you're like you jump and you have this like box that appears beneath
I
you.
hope that it's not like Outland too much. It looked a little bit like that.
Yeah.
That was a game that looked really cool, and I just didn't enjoy
I
playing it at
didn't like Outland at all.
The
either.
first expansion to World of Warcraft.
all. Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Bad North. Summer.
That looks awesome.
Yeah.
I was excited for this back when it was just PC only. I was like, oh, this looks really cool, but I'll probably never play it. But it's a roguelite strategy game. So you have like a team of guys. They haven't really explained much else, but it's Command
it
and
looks a
Summer.
little bit like the new game from FTL. What's it called?
Into the Breach.
Into the Breach.
That
Yeah,
looks really awesome too. I hope that comes to Switch, but because it's not a Switch first, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't find out till like a week before. Like,
right.
Let's come to Switch.
Next we have West of Loathing. Friends of the show. Ace. Oh,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Asymmetric. So I talked to them. They're
Yeah.
really cool guys.
Yeah.
This is a great game. Like I played some of it on PC, but I don't like playing games on PC. So
yeah, it'd be perfect for the Switch.
yeah, I mentioned that when I interviewed them. They're like, "Oh, we can't tell you much." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I remember that.
They're really fun, cool guys. They're really funny.
It's scored really well, so I mean, I'm assuming it'll be worth it to play on
The
Switch.
music is really well done. Like
No,
the
no,
score.
sorry.
Scored.
The reviews have been like mostly positive for the game, so I'll pick it up.
Yeah, I think it looks funny. They're really I mean, the fact that they were willing to like do an interview with us, they're really cool, nice
Yeah,
guys.
it's really awesome of them.
So we're stoked about that. And it's cool because now we have something that's actually done before the game release. Besides Kingdom Come, we now have 2 early interviews. So
Real quick, did you guys?
cool.
What do you guys think of the pool game? It looks.
That actually looks
that
kind of
looks
fun.
awesome. I didn't put that down, but because I couldn't remember the
It's
name.
from,
but,
it's from Adult Swim Games.
yeah,
which-
they
You could. It's got that
dude.
animation to it.
Rakeem and Adult Swim,
Yeah.
and he plays pool ball, and you
awesome.
shoot the 8
Yeah,
ball
looks
into
great.
the-
Yeah, it looks fun.
I hope it's good. If it's good, I'll pick it up.
I hope
immediately.
it's cheap because I'm not going to pay $60 for
If
it.
no,
It's not gonna be
It's an
$60.
indie.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if it's like
If it's 15 or less and it's good, I'm picking it up immediately.
So then there was a series of off-air announcements. Also today,
Real quick, I have
Oh,
to say, this is crazy. The games that you're announced that
I
they put
love
them
pool.
off. I love pool. That the fact that they put them off air, like it is insane to me that they put these 3 games off air.
why is that insane?
Because the games that they announced, while they're all really cool and really great, and we
Insane in
talk
the
about them.
membrane.
These games are much bigger, much larger, and the only reason why they weren't in that Nindies Direct is because they've already been released on PC before.
Is that the only reason?
That's literally the only reason. Nintendo has a clause that unless your game is first released on Switch or first a console exclusive to Switch,
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus,
the person.
it won't be like in a direct or highly promoted.
I don't know.
So, anyways, tell the
baby.
people the games.
I'll tell
and
the
then
people. Hyper Light Drifter.
That
Really, the only one that matters on that list.
no, that list is awesome. But Hyper Light Drifter is a game I've already played. I beat it 100% on PC. I'm on the last boss on Xbox One. It is amazing. Everyone should play it here. Everyone should play it who's listening.
I would like to play it.
Max.
Max. You know Max listens to every episode?
Yeah, he said that.
Oh, yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah, you know.
I love you, Max.
I love you, Max.
He absorbs it all.
He absorbs it all. He recites it
absorbs
to
us.
me.
A maxi pad, if you will.
I have here several messages from Max on WeChat, and he just is reciting the episodes to me.
He's
So,
saying, this is when Brink said this, and this is when Donna said this.
Ooh,
So read the rest of those games.
to-
They're all
is
good.
he actually quoting us?
we'll have to talk about WeChat
That'd be
after
cool.
this episode's over.
Okay. Nidhogg 2.
Did you guys get played Nidhogg?
Is this the like naked Homer Simpson game you talked about?
That is this is Nidhogg 2, but Nidhogg 1 was just it's a fencing game. Like it's
It's
an
a-
8-bit fencing
offensive.
game.
I was just gonna say it sounds offensive.
It's offensive. Nidhogg 2
Sorry, you had me at Naked Homer.
introduced like axes and bows and arrows and stuff,
Yeah.
but the idea is you and an opponent are trying to kill each other so that you can run towards the Nidhogg or giant worm to get eaten. And whoever gets eaten wins.
It sounds like a WarioWare game.
It is amazing and fun, and I am so happy it's coming to Switch because I'll probably actually buy it this time.
Okay.
And the last one's what?
Crash Hands.
Crash Lands. Sorry, I suck at writing.
What is that?
So this is like a top-down Diablo-esque game where it was released on iOS about 3 or 4 years ago. Your protagonist is like a purple Iron Man-esque looking dude, and you
A lot of asks here.
you also build a base. So
This is Fortnite?
this is Fortnite the game.
I remember when this game came out.
Yeah, it looks really great.
Yeah, who developed it? They're related to something. I remember seeing it. You know what? There's that company Rocket Cat, and they make that game that looks like Secret of Mana, Secret of Evermore kind of game. It's on mobile. I'm hoping they bring that to Wayward Souls or whatever.
That game
What's
was cool.
dumb is that they have another game called Death Road to Canada, I think, that's coming out soon.
Oh yeah. That
And
game is crazy.
That
popular.
game's already coming to Switch, but they haven't announced Wayward Souls.
So this is about that same clause that I mentioned earlier. They have a thing where as long as you release the newest game that's coming to Switch, you can release all of your previous backlog. So games like Inti Create or publishers like Inti Creates and NIS like America, they released a new game that came out to Switch day and date, so they can release their entire backlog to Switch.
Interesting.
So it's really weird. Like that's why Tom Happ of Axiom Verge, that's why he didn't get to release his game to Switch. They actually, weirdly enough, the guy who helped him put it on Switch, he worked for Nintendo of America doing their indie relations program back in the Wii era, and he was trying to like work with Tom Happ to get the game on Switch, and they had it ready day and date. but they couldn't put it on there because it wasn't a console first.
Is it still not on there?
It's on there as of October of
Okay.
last year. Real quick, those last 3 games we mentioned, they were all made in Game Maker. So this is from, we mentioned this last week, but Undertale was made in Game Maker as well. That's awesome. Game Maker is a $70 game creation program. You can buy it in Steam.
But it seems like, because I mean, it seems like it's actually $1,000 if you buy like the big version of it, right?
I think the edition that allows you to put any game out is $70. It's on sale right now. It's normally $100. But I'm sure there are assets and stuff you can buy.
Why do you say 1,000?
Because I remember when we were looking at it just to
Oh,
invest in it, they had different different levels of it, and it seemed like if you wanted to make a completely custom game, like that version of things was like $1,000.
I don't remember enough to like.
I mean,
those other
either
ones.
way, that's not really all that expensive. Recording software, all
Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
stuff is always
Thousand-
pricey.
I mean,
so-
it's $2,000 for East West Orchestra, right?
yeah, something like that.
It would be interesting to see what these games used is their version of the software.
And speaking of assets, I forgot to put this in the news. Epic, the makers of Fortnite, they're releasing all the Paragon assets, $12 million worth of assets for free.
Wow.
Because they canceled Paragon. So not only
That's
do you
right.
get all your money back if you spend any money, but you can also make a game using any of their assets.
So how long before we see a bunch of indie games with the same characters in them?
I assume very quickly.
Tomorrow.
If you're on Steam, probably tomorrow. Yes.
Well, anyways, guys, I think that's it for the news tonight. It's been a good show. Anything else you guys want to add? Maybe just some housekeeping items?
Just the Flint Hook review is up. We have an interview coming up. Actually, Veet is hosting an interview with a game that he was really interested in from last year. And we're hopefully going to get some more interviews up this year. And JJ sounded like he wanted to say something.
No, I was just, I don't know, interested in what you were saying.
Thank you.
But you can find us on Podbean, Google Play, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, podcast.com, Stitcher, and I think that's it. And YouTube.
Honestly, guys, we would love to hear from you. If you can like find us on social media or email us at superbscast@gmail.com. It would be
I mean,
so
just
cool.
fart into your phone.
Just fart
You know?
into
Just
your
wanna hear that
freaking
you're alive.
phone.
Send it to us.
Just let us know that you're farting, okay? Like anything.
wash your own damn sheets.
The boys had a hard enough life. Just wash the sheets. No, it would just be really fun to like talk to people and have questions at the end of the show.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That's to us people that can feel things. It hurts.